Hey guys, thanks for coming and checking the video out. So this one today is going to be something that I've been requested to do for quite a while. This is going to be a walk through the track in the reverse direction. I've had a few of the kids come up to me over the past month or so asking me why I don't post anymore, and a few of them have been requesting this, so I figured I'd give it for them. So the first thing you want to note when going in the reverse direction is the elevation of the track is going to change quite a bit. The straightaway is now going to be uphill instead of downhill. A lot of the fast turns, like the box turn, turn 3, turn 2, those turns are all going to be downhill now, so that may affect your setup a bit as well. For gearing, seniors and juniors, you guys may be doing a tooth or so. Masters, we're probably doing 2 teeth just to help us get up this straightaway with all the weight on our carts. And yeah, so I say let's hop into this and let's take a look at things. All right, guys, so we're going to start out here getting into turn 1. I would say that the braking zone pretty much corresponds with this light pole on your right-hand side. Okay, there's a slight crack in the track. You're going to brake right after it. You can see that the brake zone is pretty much going to be a straight shot between these two curbs right here. Do yourself a favor. Do not hit this curb. We can see somebody else already learned their lesson here. I've tried going over both these curbs and making this as straight as possible. You're just going to damage your equipment or hurt yourself. So you want to just skim the left-hand side. Right here, the apex is going to be right on the white curb, the first white curb that comes in. Okay, you can see I'm already turned in a little bit, going to compensate for some of the understeer. As soon as I hit this white curb, I'm going to get off the brake. You can see we release the brake. We're immediately back on the throttle. We're going to roll into the throttle. And this is going to be very similar to the way you're doing it in the normal direction. You're going to kind of want to ride right along this new paved section right here. We all know the track has a very distinct V shape to it right here. If you want to race it more like a shifter, you're going to go out wide and kind of diamond the turn in the normal direction. If you do that this way, the right rear of the go-kart's going to settle down too quickly and you're going to wash out right towards the dirt. You're not going to be able to get onto the gas at all. So keep this nice and tight, get back on the gas. You can see the go-kart sits down and we're going to exit right along the apron on the left-hand side. Again, very similar to the way that we do it in the normal direction. Just keep in mind that the track has a very distinct V shape at that one point and try to avoid riding into that. So now getting into turn 2, which is the 90 at the top of the hill. This is a turn that a lot of guys are going to lose their speed on because everybody's afraid of the amount of speed you actually have to carry through here. So again, the line is going to be very similar to the way that it is in the normal direction. All right, you're going to turn in right before the apron over here, which is similar to where your exit is in the normal direction. All right, we just stabbed the gas a little bit, or I'm sorry, we stabbed the brake a little bit, and we are immediately back onto the throttle. Okay, we're rolling our throttle through. We're going to apex in the exact same spot that we would in the other direction, and we are full throttle already as soon as we come out of that turn. Avoid the hay bales over here. Try not to get over near the grass because if you hit that, it's going to hurt pretty bad. You're going to ruin your stuff. And yeah, I mean, this is pretty straightforward. It's just going to be the exact opposite that you would normally do in the correct direction. All right, so now coming down into the chicane, this is very fast downhill. I see a lot of guys lose time here because they brake too early and they're afraid of the turn. You're going to see me brake a little bit early here as well. All right, so when we're coming down, you'll see that, again, there's another distinct line in the track. It's a little crack here. It's also a little bump. You're going to want to brake right after the bump, so you should start braking hard right about now. I braked a little bit early. Didn't really help. You're going to ride this curb. You don't want to really touch the blue because the blue will kind of upset the cart a bit, but you're going to ride right along the left-hand side of this curb, okay? Still on the brakes. Now we're off the brakes now. And everybody that races this track in the normal direction, you can kind of see it in the video too. You can see that there's a very distinct dip to the track right here. Right? They've tried repaving it a couple times. It continues to sink. All right? This little camber right here, you're going to want to use this camber to actually pull your cart around the turn. Very similar to the way that you would race turn 2 in the normal direction. So you can see we're already turning in it early. We're already anticipating because we're coming downhill, there's going to be a good amount of understeer here. Because I have a problem getting off my brakes, there's also going to be understeer. That's another story, but you see we use that curvature of the track to our advantage, and it brings us right around the corner here. So this is the only passing opportunity really in the reverse direction, so you can do one of two things. You can either come out, if you're trying to be defensive, you can come out kind of wide here, and then you got to take the hairpin really tight. If you got a little bit of a lead like we do here, you can come out more near the apron, cut it in. You're going to late apex. You see we apexed around 3/4 of the way around this turn. and that's going to help bring us out to the apron. Again, very similar to the normal direction or the normal line that you would take if you were racing the track in the correct direction. So coming to the box turn now. Kind of speed this forward a little bit. Very similar to the way that you're going to take it in the normal direction here. Braking point, going to be pretty much adjacent to this pole on the left-hand side, which is going to be just a little bit before this curb. So right about now. If you want to line it up with the edge of that curb, that's a pretty good indicator. All right, now we're going to turn in. We all know that this patch of the track here is a little bit bumpy. I've seen numerous drivers do this different ways. I like to come in kind of high and put my left rear on the smooth part of the track right above the new pavement. I find that to be the easiest line to get in here. If you got a softer go-kart, I've seen some of the guys go a little bit tighter, but I like to go a little bit wider here, and you're going to see why I like to go wider on exit. So kind of riding that edge, hitting some of the bumps, but riding that edge a bit. Now, right here, we're going to notice that my exit's going to be a little bit different than you'd probably expect. If you walk this track the day before the race, the day of the race, walk the track, and you're going to notice that right here, the track actually slides off. The track has kind of like a V shape here. Again, when they paved the track, two distinct different surfaces here. This surface has a little bit of a camber to it, inward camber towards the curb. This has sort of a crown shape to it where it sort of rolls off down towards the barrier. So on exit, I don't really want to be out there, especially not on MG Reds, because we know they're not going to get any grip out there. The yellows, you may get away with it, but the red, we're going to want to keep it nice and tight, and we're going to want to exit mid. Again, if you think about the way that you race the track in the normal direction, normally you're supposed to enter this turn either tight or somewhere in the mid. If you're entering wide and out here, usually the kart washes up the track. It's going to be the same thing on exit. So we're going to hit that apex, and you're going to notice we're going to ride right out towards the middle. We don't get anywhere near that curb because that's where the track falls off. And then we want to immediately get back over to the right-hand side for turn 3. Turn 3, also going to be very similar to the way that you race it in the normal direction. You're going to get on the brakes maybe 20 feet before the barriers and the apron. So again, I mean, if you want to line it up with this pole on the right-hand side of the track, you can look at that as well. We're on the brakes pretty hard here. We're going to turn in right at the apron. Apex low. Again, two very distinct surfaces on the track. We know that on the normal direction of the track, if we've watched the other videos, we don't want to be out here. There's no grip and the track falls off. The crown shape of the track here is what kind of plays a factor there. We want to be in nice and tight on the left-hand side below all this rhino seal on the track. I put my right rear right on the rhino seal because I actually find it gets a little bit more grip. And we're going to exit nice and tight. And again, if you think about it, it's the exact same line that you would normally take in the opposite direction. Now, we don't want to track all the way out here because if we track all the way out, there's no way we're going to get back over for turn 2. Again, turn 2, going to get on the brakes probably right before the apron here. See, we're on the brakes now. We know turn 2 has a pretty distinct camber to it, so we're going to get on the gas nice and early, and this camber should help pull us around this turn. Immediately off the brakes, and you can see I'm already rolling back into the throttle. Geez, this is, I don't even know, this is probably 40 feet before the apex. We're already back on the throttle, rolling in nice and easy. We're back on the gas full throttle right at the apron, pretty much right at apex, and you can see that's pretty much that. That turn does all the work for you. If you hit that turn right, that turn is an absolute rocket ship. And finally, coming to the final turn of the track, we'll call it turn 1. You're going to brake right about at the apron on the left-hand side. Some guys ride out on the apron. If you got yellows on and you got that amount of grip, feel free to go for it. I think we're going to turn in right at the second to last red. All right, and we're going to aim right for the red curb right there. Now, this is a little bit bumpy in here. They have since repaved this and smoothed this out quite a bit, so you may be able to get in here nice and tight now. I was finding during this race that I actually like to take this about a foot off of the actual apex. I think this lap I cut it in pretty tight though. The other thing you want to be aware of is that this is where the paved pits come back out. All right, so you actually have an extra like 5 or 6 feet of runoff here that you don't normally have in any other turn. I think most of the track is like 30, 33 feet wide. This is almost 40 feet wide here. All right, so you have all the room in the world to get back on the gas nice and early and track out extremely wide here. I mean, you can see if we back this up, I should be on the gas well before the apex. If we can find the right spot. Right, I'm already back on the throttle. Just like turn 2, I'm already back on the throttle 20, 30 feet before the apex because there is an absolute ton of room here for you to run out. And use the whole track up. And then, you can see the extra 5 feet the track has paved onto it there. Get yourself back over so you don't hit the grass. And back up the hill you go. Alright guys, thanks for watching the video. I'm going to show you guys a flying lap now. And I tried to make this one a little bit shorter than the last one, the 2-part series. I tried to keep this one under 10 minutes. Hopefully I was able to do that. And if you guys at the track have any questions about this, or if you're first time guy doing this, talk to Dan, talk to Tim, talk to me, talk to Justin or any of the flaggers of the track, Colleen or Greg in the shop. We'll help you out with whatever you guys need to, make yourself comfortable. And yeah, like I said, keep the elevation change in mind because that's a pretty big thing. The gearing's going to change. The front end setup may change a bit. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So if you guys have any more video requests you want to see, feel free to talk to me at the track and I'll see what I can do for you guys. All right, that's it. I'll see you guys there.